There is a reason the world is currently obsessed with the shape of our lips, and it has nothing to do with trends. It's because your brain is hardwired to read lips as a biological receipt, round or full, the vitality engine. If your lips are round and full, with soft, voluminous curves on both the top and bottom, you are carrying what evolutionary biologists call an honest signal. In nature, an honest signal is a physical receipt that's impossible to fake. It's your body's way of proving you're healthy from the inside out. Think about it. Maintaining full, symmetrical lips requires a high-performance engine of collagen, perfect hormonal balance, and intense blood flow. Research in evolutionary psychology consistently finds that fuller lips are cross-culturally associated with perceived health, fertility, and resource abundance. Your ancestors weren't just lucky. They were using their faces as a high-definition display for genetic quality. While other lineages were struggling, yours was advertising resource abundance, in a language every human brain is still hardwired to read. To the ancient mind, this shape was a biological green light, the psychological echo. You carry what I call empathic dominance. People with this engine architecture often score higher in social attunement, the ability to read the emotional temperature of a room. You don't lead by shouting, you lead through a quiet magnetic presence that signals safety. You are the person the group unconsciously aligns with because your biology suggests you have enough resources to take care of everyone around you. Heart-shaped, the precision beacon. Heart-shaped lips are defined by a sharp, pronounced Cupid's bow, that dramatic V-dip on the upper lip. From a brain science perspective, this isn't a look, it's an engineering marvel. Brain mapping research reveals that your Cupid's bow contains one of the highest concentrations of sensory nerve endings in your entire body. We are talking about high-resolution sensors with the same sensitivity as your fingertips. 50,000 years ago, your ancestors used this shape as a precision detection tool. Before they took a single bite of an unknown plant, they were scanning the texture and temperature with their lips. In early foraging environments, that scan was the only thing standing between a nutritious meal and a lethal mistake. The psychological echo. You operate with high-resolution cognition. Because of this biological heritage, you likely notice the micro-expressions and tonal shifts that others filter out as background noise. You are the precision beacon, the person who knows something is off in a conversation before anyone else has even processed the question. Your brain is calibrated for the details that everyone else is too busy to see. Wide lips. The expansive scout. Wide lips, the kind that stretch broadly across your face to create an expansive, open smile, are actually anchored to a specific skeletal blueprint. That wide jaw isn't just there, it's a high-performance adaptation. Anthropologists have found that this broader structure functions like an industrial-grade press. It gave your ancestors a massive bite force range, allowing them to process tough, fibrous foods that would have broken a narrower jaw. But it wasn't just about food. A wider mouth is essentially a performance upgrade for breathing. It allows for a significantly higher intake of oxygen during a hunt or a long-distance run. Your ancestors were the marathon runners and the tireless scouts who simply never ran out of gas. The psychological echo. In modern psychology, this expansive blueprint correlates with high social bandwidth. You are biologically built to gather information at scale. While others are focusing on one person, you are tracking the entire room. You don't just participate in social hierarchies, you map them automatically. You are the expansive scout, the person who reads the frequency and the boundaries of a room before you've even said hello. Bow-shaped lips. The sharp strategist. Bow-shaped lips carry a distinctive, sharply carved M peak on the upper lip. This isn't just a shape. It's a visible signature of high muscle tone. Specifically, it's the orbicularis oris, the circular muscle that acts as the control tower for every movement your mouth makes. Evolution calls this a ready-state phenotype. Think of it like the hair trigger on a camera. It's a system designed to fire instantly. In the ancient world, this crisp, precise lip movement allowed your ancestors to communicate clearly over long distances. That was a massive tactical advantage during a hunt. Those who could communicate faster and more precisely held the leverage. They were the ones who directed the group when seconds mattered. The psychological echo. You carry a bias toward action orientation. You don't just plan, you move. There is a biological snap to your decision-making that others have to consciously work to develop. You are the sharp strategist, calculating the odds at lightning speed and executing the play while everyone else is still reading the field. Thin lips, the resource optimizer. Thin lips, characterized by a slim profile and a tightly defined border, represent one of the most documented climate adaptations in our history. If you have this shape, your ancestors likely survived some of the most punishing, cold, and arid environments on Earth. In sub-zero temperatures, exposed mucosal tissue, like your lips, is a major liability. It's where you lose core body heat and precious moisture. Thin lips weren't a disadvantage, They were a thermal seal. Your biology chose efficiency over display to ensure that every drop of water and every degree of warmth stayed inside the body. In a world of scarcity, your lineage were the masters of conservation. The psychological echo. This biological efficiency mirrors a profile of self-reliant resilience. Research suggests that individuals with this optimizer blueprint often score higher on autonomy and frustration tolerance. You don't need constant external validation to keep your engine running. You're the person who is still working long after everyone else has burned out. Not because you're pushing yourself, but because your biology is built for stamina overbursts. You are the long game specialist. Bottom heavy, the analytical anchor. If your lower lip is noticeably fuller than your upper lip, you carry the blueprint of the analytical anchor. In the world of biomechanics, the lower lip is the heavy lifter. It performs the vast majority of the motor work for speech and consumption, because it holds a higher density of sensory receptors. A more developed lower lip acted as a biological gatekeeper for your ancestors. Think of it like a quality control officer. It allowed for a careful, sensation-based evaluation of what entered the body before committing to it. In a world of unknown berries and questionable water, this archetype was the one who ensured the tribe didn't make a fatal mistake. The psychological echo. You carry a deliberative processing style. You have a wait-and-see biological bias built right into your face. In a crisis, while others are reacting in a panic, you are anchoring, assessing the data and synthesizing the most grounded response in the room. You don't move fast, you move right. Top-heavy, the charismatic disruptor. Top-heavy lips, where the upper lip is noticeably larger or more projected than the lower, are tied to one of the most powerful social tools in our history, emotional broadcasting. In the ancient world, before language was fully developed, the tribe needed a way to synchronize instantly. Research on primate signaling shows that dominant upper lip development acts like a biological amplifier. These individuals were the human antennas for the group. If they felt alarm, the tribe knew it instantly. If they felt enthusiasm, it sparked the entire camp. The psychological echo. You carry the architecture of high affect leadership. Studies find that people with this structure tend to have massive social influence. Why? Because you don't have a poker face. In a world of hidden agendas, your transparency is actually your superpower. It builds trust at an accelerated rate. People follow you not because you're loud, but because they instinctively believe that what they see on your face is the truth. You don't just enter a room, you shift its energy the moment you walk in. Downturned, the vigilant protector. Downturned lips, where the outer corners rest in a slight downward slope even when you're relaxed, represent what I call emotional stealth tech. In high-risk ancestral environments, wearing your heart on your sleeve was a dangerous liability. If a rival tribe or a predator could read your fear or your plan, you were at a disadvantage. Evolution built this downturned resting position as a biological shield. It minimized your emotional legibility, allowing your ancestors to observe everyone else without being read themselves. It wasn't a frown, it was a camouflage mechanism. The psychological echo. You are a master of skeptical reasoning. You are a natural lie detector. Your brain's default setting isn't accept and move on. It's scan for the inconsistency. You catch the micro details that others dismiss as noise, and you ask the questions no one else thought to ask. You are the vigilant protector, the one who doesn't show their hand because they're too busy calculating the next 3 moves. You wait until you've already won before you let the world see you smile. Injected lips, the architect. Here is where science takes a genuinely fascinating turn, because humans have always used tools to amplify their biological signals. 60,000 years ago, your ancestors were using ochre pigments and shells to enhance their features. Whether it's ancient tribal tattoos, ceremonial scarification, or modern lip fillers, the underlying impulse is exactly the same. The deliberate manipulation of the social code. Modern augmentation isn't a departure from our biology. It's just the most technologically precise version of it. From an evolutionary standpoint, this is adaptive agency. It's the capacity to recognize the signals that govern human perception and make an intentional choice to author your own narrative. The psychological echo. Research suggests that individuals who consciously manage their physical presentation often score higher on an internal locus of control. This is the deep-seated belief that your life's outcomes are shaped by your own actions, not by chance. You aren't just accepting a blueprint, you are refining it for the modern landscape, doing exactly what your ancestors did when they painted their faces before battle to signal their readiness for the world. 9 archetypes, 9 different stories written into the tiny fraction of an inch that makes up your lips. What's extraordinary is that none of this is cosmetic. These shapes crossed ice ages and migrations to land on your face right now. See you in the next video.